So what I want to do really quickly is demonstrate what these single web page offline HTML file software activities you can actually do rather than just doing a screen recording traditionally on a laptop. I wanted to actually show you in person what this would look like if you have a touch screen monitor, or you may even have a projector. Maybe your district isn't at the point right now where they actually are going to spend money in the touchscreen technology. But if you were so blessed to have this, I want to actually demonstrate and show you what this looks like live right now. So here we have this figurative language. This is just one activity that I'm creating for my offline EdTech tools and game store on Teachers Pay Teachers and where the products made, wherever I'm deciding to sell this else. But this right here is one of them. This is something that you can actually use for a warm-up, for example, because it's only 4 pieces of figurative language. If you teach in English, you can actually just have students come in. They can come number their papers 1 through 4 because we have 4 sentences here. You can start a timer right here. They got 7 minutes or whatever the case may be from the time that it's transitions in terms of the kids getting water, restrooms, moving from class to class until, and when they actually get in, they immediately get started with this work. So here we have, when they're done actually writing this down, this timer is up. What I usually do is we go over it and I'll have students come in and then we will have them come in and actually drag the actual answer. This first one is irony. A famous dentist who constantly lectured the community about proper floss and had to have all his own teeth removed due to severe decay. That's irony. 6 slippery seals silently slid down a smooth slope toward the swollen sea. That is going to be alliteration. And then we can scroll down here. Now, again, one thing I didn't mention, I use a stylus, but you can have your students use their fingers, but I prefer a stylus to keep my screen as clean as possible and to keep their grease or whatever particles maybe actually up on their flesh off of the screen. So, and you can just kind of continue to have them. This is going to be metaphor. It's going to be idiom. You could just kind of have them come up here and drag and drop. This way, the reason that this is like this, and one of the things that I wanted to actually do was the whole point is to just create engagement, because students have a hard time, at least our students anyway, when they're reading these sentences in regular text, identifying what the figurative language is. So some things have to be broken down and sort of chunky. You want to try to raise the engagement with reading. This is actually one good way to actually do it, especially if you're just getting daily practice in. This is one of the tools that you can actually use off of my store for that figurative language practice. Another thing that I also have too is a simple activity that you can also use as a warm up, even a one off. Doesn't even have to be used for a warm up, but it could be used as a one off if you're just trying to teach a certain skill, a certain concept, and you're trying to raise the interactivity with it. Because we know that kids are having a hard time just sitting down, just wanting to read right now at this moment. They're having high difficulties with it. So for now, we have to work them up to that point to try to build their stamina. But for now, this is actually a really good way that you can actually use these simple pieces of software in order to raise that engagement. So here we have logical fallacy matchup. So in teaching logical fallacy, the different branches of bandwagon appeal, circular reason, and stereotype. I'm not really sure how well my camera is picking up the different colors, but each one is a different color right now. But the kids still have to read it, but the colors are supposed to serve as a visual cues so they can actually be able to separate and sort in their mind which is which right now at this moment in time. And they make distinctions between the sentences. Okay. The report is accurate because it was written by the committee, and the committee only writes accurate reports. I think this was circular reasoning. The committee was written by I think that is circular reasoning. Yep, I was absolutely right. So in teaching these things, where you teach the concept of bandwagon appeal, people jump in the bandwagon, circular reason, or argument that just comes back around and has no basis, and then stereotype. We all know what that means by now. If you're an adult and you're teaching this, I don't have to explain stereotype to you. It's very easy. So I deserve to be paid more, so you should increase my salary. It's a circular mute point, circular reason. So you can have kids come up here and drag and drop those arguments to each of these. This will also be available on the EdTech, the offline EdTech tools and game store. I'm gonna have to remember my own title. And then lastly, what I also have is I have a restroom chooser, because I like myself, I have a lot of students that always ask me to go to the restroom, And I don't like trying to keep up with. I needed a system basically, and I was like, I'm tired of having to just write things down. So what this is going to store all your data. You'll put all the names here in the roster management, add names, bulk import, and then it's going to add their names here. And then what I do is I tell students they have one restroom pass in a week, and what this picker does, it randomly chooses those two students that's already going to go for that day. So once Donald and John have gone to the restrooms already, that's it. They can't go to the restrooms anymore for the rest of the week. So they'll see this up here. You display this on a monitor so they can actually see their names. Their names are already scratched off. Okay. And it'll just stay like that. And then it tells you right here, two selected this week for available. So when we get to the next day, we'll go ahead and we'll hit choose two students. And this will already be stored into the browser. Again, this is none of these tools are online, by the way. Even though I'm displaying them to you through a browser, with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, the browser will read that code and you can still run it locally, meaning you don't have to, if you have any internet outages or any internet troubles, it happens quite frequently here where I work at. And this happened to me in the past too as well. So these are things I wish I had even back then, or even at least thought of at this time and everything else. So, but that was the whole purpose of actually creating these tools. So that way you're not dependent on internet usage because you may experience frequent outages. I know I do. So all these tools that you see right here, more tools coming up in the store are going to be non-internet dependent. Okay. Probably the only thing you'll need the internet for, there'll be some tools and some activities that's drag and drop or whatever the case may be. Like I'm building an annotation reader that you'll be able to, you will need to put in Google Classroom in order to display out to all the students. But I just wanted to take a moment to kind of show you new softwares, offline tools that could be built that you could actually use in your classroom that'll be to your benefit. Again, that's the EdTech, the offline EdTech Tech and Tools game store. And you probably see my face from the teacher show. I'm not going to stop on that channel, but I want to do something that's going to help teachers move forward because there's only so much I can actually say about teaching being bad or whatever the case may be. And I want to do more good by helping teachers and sharing the knowledge that I got and strategies that I've developed over time and any creative ideas and be more of a contribution than more of a hindrance. So that's the direction that we're going right now. But anyway, check out the store, link in the description below. And again, I got more products and game tools and tech tools coming up just for you guys.